Morning everyone. If it is indeed morning where you are, it's Baldy Chris again, and this is the first look at one of the unlockable characters. I've gone through the four basic ones. If you watched the Hunter video, I didn't do very well. I died before I got off the first floor, didn't even make it to the boss, which it was just a very noob thing to have done. So I did a restart and then had to stitch a couple of videos together to progress with that one. It was a bit of a pain to do. Hopefully it's still an okay watch. Okay, anyway, we're playing as the bullet this time. I have beaten the bullets past. There's a trophy for both unlocking the bullet and also beating its past as well. And when you beat the past, you get an alternate outfit, which is this strange purple bunny thing. I'm just going to play in the regular skin for this one, simply because it will make life a little easier to explain how to go about unlocking the bullet in the first place. And I've done a gameplay tweak I should have probably done a long time ago. I've increased speed out of combat so I can walk around the map a good bit faster than I ever used to be able to. And that will hopefully keep the overall length of the videos down. I'm certainly having problems with the 1 hour limit on Share Factory. But anyway, this is the bullet, and you can see he looks like one of the Bulletkins, but he wears a little red cape at the back there. And the way to unlock him is straightforward-ish. The bad news is you do have to have beaten the game. I think you have to have beaten at least one character's past as well. Once you've done that, you will then start to find that Bulletkins appear at random, not terribly frequently. That look like him. He won't be carrying a sword, he'll be carrying a pistol, but he won't point it at the player, and he won't shoot. He'll just wander around, and he will have the little red cape on, and typically you'll see him from the side view like I'm showing him here, which means the cape is quite difficult to see, and it's quite easy to mistake it for a regular enemy and just kill it. Don't do that. You need to let 5 of them live, and once that's happened, then you will unlock the bullet and you can play as the bullet. So like I say, in theory straightforward, but you do have to progress very far within the game, and then they don't turn up often, and it's easy to kill them by mistake, and they're also fairly suicidal as well. They'll walk into fire, they'll walk into pits, that kind of thing. Or if you've got a weapon that does a big spread, I think I was using Helix bullets sometime and managed to catch one of the caped Bulletkins with the wider spread that you get off the Helix bullet modifier. I took him out, which was very annoying. They do stand more chance for appearing the further down the Gungeon that you get. I don't know if that applies if you use a shortcut to get to those later levels, or whether you're better off trying to work your way down to the later levels. But anyway, that is how you do it. And he starts off with this sword, which when you fire it, fires off a nice big projectile. It makes him step forward a little bit as well. You have to kind of constantly adjust your position with him. And that projectile does quite a lot of damage. The sword swipe itself will, I think it reflects bullets. It certainly clears bullets. We'll find out in a second when we actually get into the combat rooms. Which makes for it being a very good weapon indeed, but it only does the projectile effect when you've got full heart health. So it's always a good idea to try and get some armour on top of it, just to ensure that your heart health stays at its fullest. What's his passive item? Is that just his cape? Oh, he's got immunity to contact damage, and you can do increased contact damage by rolling into enemies as well. I'm not really a fan of the close-up playstyle. Yeah, it doesn't seem to be reflecting bullets. It's, like I say, just clearing them. But yeah, you think, oh, it makes you pretty much invulnerable, and that's sort of true if your timing is right. If not, you'll get hit and you'll lose the projectile, which makes him a whole lot harder to play as in that instance. But I mean, he can of course pick up other weapons, so you've always got the option of just relying on the weapons that are more tried and tested for you. It's possible you've seen a weapon called Fight Saber that operates in a slightly similar way. When you reload it, it will reflect bullets back towards the enemy, which is quite useful. We haven't got a lot of cash. Don't think we're likely to afford the Gungeon. It's not that good a weapon unless you're playing as the gunslinger. Might try the battery bullets, or possibly the cursed bullets. Maybe even both if we get enough for both of those. I do like a bullet modifier. It's just it's always there. You don't have to think about how to use it. Right, these let's try and clear out the bullet kin first, since they can actually shoot at me, and then. Well, you don't get contact damage off these enemies at the best of times. Yeah, the increased contact damage from me to them was pretty effective there. Put pay to it straight away. Got him with the chandelier. Yeah. So there we are. There's some armour that helps keep the hearts intact. So I'll be able to carry on using this weapon for a while. So this is probably one of the more powerful starter weapons that you can get, so long as you maintain the full heart health. There we are, didn't even have to dodge roll over the bullets there. So yeah, so just one of the quirks of this game is that the further you progress with it, the easier some aspects of it become. Oh, managed to miss that, that was quite close. Which sort of seems a bit unfair really to the new starters. I was saying earlier how I'd managed to, even after hundreds of hours of experience on the game, still die on the first floor, which was quite unexpected. There had been a time where I think I was measuring my progress with typically how far I'd be able to get with the game, and it was generally I could make the first floor boss, not necessarily beat it. And I'd like to think I'm a long way past that particular state of play. I think these days I would probably consider myself usually able to make the fourth floor boss, although most of those bosses are quite tricky. So I'd certainly make no guarantees about beating them, particularly the kill pillars I find tricky, and the high priest. I'm not a fan of. The wall is relatively easy to deal with, just because it presents itself an easy target. It's the worst you've got to worry about is staying out of the way of its attacks. But yeah, for quite a long time I was really stuck with being able to get to on the fourth floor and dying on the fourth floor. I think I'm going to open this chest, see what we get. It's a table tech of some kind. Table tech blanks, they're quite helpful. So long as there are tables in the room. I think we've probably just about exhausted most of the rooms on this floor. So this might be the boss fight coming up. Yeah, but having reached the point of not noticeably progressing between or past being able to reach the fourth floor, I was ready to give up the game. I'm glad I persisted with it. So I think, have we got enough for those? 35 and 22, it's 53, isn't it? Damn. Never mind. Right, I'll take the battery bullets because they won't curse me, whereas her stuff will. And might come back and get those after the boss fight. But yeah, there's so many trophies and unlocks within the game that are based on having completed it or made your way, grinding your way through certain things, like getting this character unlocked, for example, just is a reward for multiple playthroughs, because it will require many multiple playthroughs to actually reach the requisite 5 caped bullet kin to get it unlocked. since I've still got the full projectile here, I'll just keep it on with the starter weapon. It's not terribly obvious that a bullet modifier is actually applying to it. I'm not sure that it is necessarily. But as well, with the being able to clear the bullets, it's kind of negated the need to use blanks there. Die, chair, die. Okay, there's the master round. Is that the science cannon? Oh, it's a bloody mimic. These pedestal mimics catch me out so often, it's ridiculous. Right, okay. It was the science cannon and then Little Bomber, which I'm not too fond of Little Bomber. But I believe it can be used to blow open secret rooms, the entrance to secret rooms without using a blank. Got blanks to spare, but let's try putting this to the test. I can't use the Excalibur, as it's called, for trying to find the secret rooms because it's infinite ammo. I haven't got a key for that, probably won't be able to afford it. Where's the other chest room? No, it doesn't look like we've got the a secret room there. Doesn't look like it's there either, so possibly in the shop. No. One of these days I will find a secret room coming off the shop while I'm recording these videos. Did I only get 2 cash off the boss? Let's take the cursed bullets. Don't know if I've got anything that actually technically does fire bullets just yet. So there's a chest left as well. Destroy that and see what if anything comes out of it. A little bit of junk. Okay, not to worry. Right, off to the second floor then. Didn't get anything like enough keys to consider going to the oubliette in the end. See, we are getting bullet modifiers here. You can see it being a sort of electrified look on the projectile, so that must be the battery bullets kicking into effect. Yeah, those snipers, I mean technically you can clear their bullets with a sword swipe, but they fire so quickly it's a difficult one to do. So there'll be one way where you'll potentially lose the projectile effect off the sword. Oh, jammed enemy. 2 jammed enemies. Oh no, it's not 2 jammed enemies. Yeah, this starter weapon I will probably continue to use it until such time as we lose heart health. Simply because it is very effective from a distance. It's still pretty effective up close as well. I mean, you'll swipe the enemies with the sword as well. I don't like getting that close to them. So yeah, it's doing good work so far. Is the old Excalibur? Is it called Excalibur? Let's find out. Blasphemy, sorry. There is a weapon called Excalibur in the game as well, which is similar. I think it just fires sword bullets rather than actually being a sword. Might be remembering that wrong. Yeah, again, I would recommend looking in the wiki to learn the truth of the matter. rather than relying on my sometimes failing memory. Okay, let's top up the science cannon. I said before I have trouble dealing with those cubes, find it difficult to pick the gaps through their bullets. Definitely something you don't really need to worry about too much with the blasphemies. You just swipe your way through. We've got a shrine over here. Oh no, it's a... what is it? Oh, it is a shrine. Oh, I can clear curse. Which I would like to do. I don't like having the curse, so I think it costs 5 per level of curse, so I must have got a curse level of 3. So now I shouldn't have any whatsoever, which probably means I can't use it again. I think you can come back and use it if you pick up additional curse. But yeah, I would definitely prefer not to be facing jammed enemies or run the risk of encountering Lord of the Jammed. Yeah, if you're not aware of Lord of the Jammed, he's not a nice fella to meet. You do have this stat called Curse. It's a hidden stat, and if it reaches 10, oh, there's Cursula again. All her stuff is cursed. Do I want the Lament Configurum? I can't afford it. Badge is also nice. Badge is a policeman companion. The Lament Configurum is supposed to be the box from Hellraiser, if you happen to have seen that. I'm not sure I've seen Hellraiser in 20-30 years. I'm not even sure I watched the whole thing at that point. But every time you use that, it spawns some enemies into the room. Might possibly hurt you, none of which sounds good. But repeated usage of it, it will generate some weapons as well, so it's worth doing from that point of view. And once you've used it 20 times, you'll get the bloody 9mm, which is a pretty tasty bullet modifier. So I've already unlocked the bloody 9mm, so I don't desperately need to use it, but I might pick it up nonetheless just because of the potential to get some free weapons added on. Presumably as well, if it generates enemies for you to fight, it would give you more cash from killing them as well, so slightly more potential to buy additional weapons as well as getting freebies. So we'll have to put that to the test. How much was it? Was it 54? Come on, hit it. Didn't manage to hit it. Those bats can be elusive. Is that the first chest we found? Yeah. Oh, no, it's not. So the other one's a green one. Let's open the other one, which is higher level. Don't recognise that. Combined rifle. Oh, this is from Half-Life. I think that cycles between regular bullets and this energy ball effect thing. I think it's quite a decent one, so I might use that against the boss rather than the blasphemy. Although blasphemy did a good job against the first floor boss. Yeah, so that's the energy ball now. So we haven't got enough for the Lament Configurum. It's not impossible that we might just about scrape enough out of the boss fight to get it. And it's Beholster. So actually Blasphemy would have been quite good there. Pretty useless against the beam attack. I don't think it blocks beams. Almost certain it doesn't block beams actually. A little bit trapped down here. Looks like it's close to dying. Should be. Ooh, oh, right at the last minute. I was thinking as well I've got away with nearly having its little companion spawn on me. Which it is definitely a cheap hit, is having that happen to you. Right, okay, we're now in the position as well of having no armour to protect that heart health, so Blasphemy might soon cease to be useful. Although antibody, that's a healing benefit. I think it gives double healing, or a chance to improve it. We'll see anyway. That's certainly going to be useful playing as this character. We have got enough for the Lament Configurum, so I'm going to go buy that. Get some curse back. And then find somewhere with a bit of space, and I'll open it. So yeah, it's only certain times of using it that it generates a weapon. Obviously that wasn't it there, and I said if you use it 20 times you get the unlock. I think that's 20 times cumulatively. Not absolutely certain. And I don't know therefore if the individual drops that it does are cumulative or if it starts from scratch every single time. I think it does something a bit like the Fibonacci sequence, so it'll go on 2, 5, which is not really like the Fibonacci sequence at all now that I come to think of it. Got a key there, or did I destroy the chest already? No, I didn't. Okay, let's see what we've got in it. Should be an item, I think. It is. It's the turkey. Yeah, so I think turkey, it's a bowling reference. In bowling, if you hit 3 strikes, that's called a turkey. 10-pin bowling, I should say, in case you're a fan of any other type of bowling. Right, let's head off to the 3rd floor. And yeah, so if you make 3 consecutive strikes in this game, as in hit things 3 times in succession without missing, then you do get a reward from the turkey, which is I think it replenishes some of your ammo, and yeah, that's always helpful. Anything that prolongs the ammo life of a weapon is a good thing. Okay, let's continue using Blasphemy while we have still got full health. One problem with the turkey is that it can trick you into thinking it's an enemy, because it just sort of sits there like, take that. Don't think it minds if you do attack it, it'll continue to follow you around nonetheless. Yeah, I suppose it's kind of pointless having turkey if I'm going to play using Blasphemy, because it's infinite ammo, so even if I do land 3 consecutive strikes, it's not going to give me anything more than infinite ammo, is it? But yeah, it's just, while we've still got the ability to be using it with the projectile attack, so I might as well. So yeah, I don't know how much curse we got given for picking up Lament Configurum, but it's brought back the jammed enemies, having already rinsed myself with curse in that little shrine fountain. That's got me there, so yeah, no more projectile. Which probably means no more using Blasphemy, really. He says as he continues to clear out the room using Blasphemy. Oops. Okay, let's get changed to a projectile weapon of some kind. Oh, that was probably a bad choice with all the bubbles floating around. Takes a little while to charge that one up as well. Okay. Yeah, beam weapon that needs to charge up is not ideal, and as with every beam weapon, it runs out of ammo quickly. God, that was a close call for just walking blindly into a pit. So, nearly recharged Lament configure him again. I don't know quite how the turkey judges whether I've landed a consecutive hit with a beam weapon or not, because once you target an enemy you tend to stay targeting an enemy. Right, let's do Lament configure him again. Oh, something spawned on me, that is just unfair. But it has spawned a weapon. What have we got? Void shotgun. Not bad. It's added to the curse, which is not ideal, but who knows? The jammed enemies will drop more cash, and yeah, more cash doesn't hurt, does it? Although more money, more problems, to quote, what is it, an old film or an old song or something, isn't it? I've got a table tech as well, haven't I? Table tech blanks as well. That was something I should have definitely been thinking about using before. Again, turkey made me jump there thinking it was an enemy that snuck up on me. What needs ammo? Beam weapon if I'm going to use it. Another jammed enemy again. It's one of these colas, I think they're called, which are annoying because they just charge around the room very unpredictably. Until you eventually manage to hit them again, or several times with in the case of the jammed ones, to finally get them out of the way. So they are nuisance enemies. Definitely don't want those to be jammed. Right, it's Winchester in his little shooting game again. Yeah, let's have a crack. See what we get out of this. Now, bullet modifiers still apply to the prize pistol. So sometimes it's actually better to drop them because it can throw your aim off, and I've completely forgot to do that. Ooh. I think I had this layout recently and did exactly the same. Managed to miss the first supposedly easy one and then land a lucky consolation shot on the second. Now, there's a crazy ricochet needed to get this guy. Not quite, never mind. I think it was that particular layout that I had when I finally got the trophy for getting all four. I was very impressed with the screenshot that it generated, because it was such a mad ricochet to get it. Okay, shotgun full of hate. What precisely does that do? I mean, it's a shotgun, obviously. Packed with skulls, nails, and poison. That'll be the added extra nastiness, the hateful side of it. Okay. Now there were rats running around in here, so this makes it the entrance to the rat fight. There it is, there's the hatch. You can tell by the dust clouds getting kicked up. So had we got the Nord key, we could go pay a visit to the friendly neighbourhood rat and probably lose in a fight too. This is very much the the MO for my ongoing series of the quest for the finished gun, because it's only rat items that I've got left to reach the finished gun. Whoa, nearly stepped into the... Oh, got hit. Cheap. Very cheap. Blanks. Tabletop blanks. Yes, there was cursed pots on the floor, which if you walk through the purple area that they've got round them, will add to your curse level. It's a good way to bring up Lord of the Jammed. I didn't finish explaining what Lord of the Jammed was earlier, did I? He's like a Grim Reaper guy that flies along and constantly shoots at you, and he goes through walls and all sorts of other irritating things, and will constantly follow you around if your curse level reaches 10. There is a trophy for doing it once, but it's best avoided most of the time. Unless you're an extremely good player who can cope with it following you around constantly. That is not me. Right, Lament Configurum's ready. We'll charge it up again and see what we get. Fairly simple little set of attacks there. I've got lost. Where exactly am I? Sadly no teleports particularly close to where I wanted to go. May seem pointless flipping over the tables in empty rooms. To some extent it is, but because they're triggering blank effects, then it may reveal a secret room. Firing off blanks does a small amount of damage to all enemies in the room. As well as clearing out all the bullets as well. So yeah, definitely worth doing if you remember to do it, which I clearly don't. This must have been a secret room that's opened up off the back of it, of doing those blanks there. I didn't actually hear the little audio sound. So the chest doesn't require a key, which is good because we don't have one. It's not particularly accessible really with all this fire. I think the top one looks to be the most likely means of getting in without getting hurt. Of course it's dropped the item on the other side. Okay, there we go. That was surprising. Occasionally you find secret rooms where the chest is surrounded by spike traps and you're just guaranteed to take a hit picking it up. I'm not that big a fan of the heroin. But yeah, additional weapons are always going to be helpful, even if they're not necessarily your go-to weapons, because it gives you something to keep in reserve. And it is one that charges up, so I will charge it up and see how we get on against the boss with it. It's that Mind Flayer. Ugh. That's definitely taking way too long to charge, so let's use that thing. Okay, bang goes the Flawless. That's be very optimistic of me to expect a Flawless against this particular boss. Sometimes she appears with sort of 4 little walls in the corners of the room. You can hide behind them for cover. Might just about be able to beat her. Not necessarily an expectation for this boss for me at all. Why ain't you firing gun? Come on. There we are, we got her. Just. we've got some health back out of it at least. Might as well top up that weapon, that is pretty effective against the bosses. Lament configuring's ready, so I'm going to set it off as well, see what we get. Okay, no actual drop, but yeah, we'll keep using it. Is that the Laser Lotus? It is. Wasn't doing the fire pattern I expected it to. I thought it was one that fired several rounds more quickly and brightly coloured, but I must be confusing that with a different gun. Not been into the shop, that's poor gameplay really. Can't actually afford the health. Isn't really anything in there that I would have wanted to buy anyway, but yeah, it's always good to get the shop open. Just to have a new teleport on the map can save a bit of wandering around. We'll have a quick look for secret rooms, check the exit place first. Looked like it was cracking for a minute, I don't think it has. No, where are the chest rooms? We've also got a chest that's not been opened. Did the shopkeeper have a key for sale? And can I buy it? He did, and I can just, so let's get the chest opened. What's that? That's... oh, more curse, really? Okay, that's another one that changes form, so it goes projectile to beams and back again. Where's the other? Oh, there's two chests I didn't open. That's gonna have to destroy this one. Probably with something that actually fires projectiles. Just in case it blows up in my face if I use the blasphemy on it. Okay, right. And are there any secret rooms? Probably not, it's too surrounded. No, okay, we'll try letting a blank off in the shop. Just in case. Actually, there's probably not much point since the secret room is already found. Methodical but forgetful. Never mind. So I was saying earlier, yeah, my current ability levels, I would say, would generally get me to the 4th floor boss. Sort of looks like we're vaguely on track for that at the moment. What weapon are we going to use? Let's stick with a shotgun full of hate for a little while, see how that gets on. Okay, a trap room, woohoo. Which actually is maybe not as bad as it looks. A lot easier if you got flight for that one. I'm not a fan of trap rooms, it's just... they can just really tear health away from you. And yeah, it's one thing to die to an enemy that's outshot you, or swarmed you, or surrounded you, or cornered you, whatever it is, but it just feels so cheap when it's a trap that gets you. Finally. Oh, there's a blank, we'll have that. That would definitely come in useful for the boss fight. If we get that far. this room is far busier than I would like. Come on, let's get this bloody cat. Is that it dead? It is, but there's one little sting in the tail from the room with a mini globulin, I think they're called. This is the challenge guy coming out. It doesn't look like we've got enough cash to take on his challenge. $20. I'll have to refuse him for now, but I will come back and have a crack at doing that. The challenge is probably going to be in that room there, so I'm going to leave that alone, because if you clear the room before doing their challenge, obviously you don't get to do the challenge. Forgetting I've got the table tech blanks. This is a room where death appears as well, I'm pretty sure. Yes, there he is. And whoa, that was sneaky. But yeah, it's that one little enemy that hides down there. Until you get all the enemies, death sticks around and makes himself a bit of a pain. Got hit by the ice cube there, but no contact damage for the bullet, which is lucky because I got contacted for sure. Right, Lament configure him again. Oh, that definitely hurt me just opening the box, and that's the fight saber which I mentioned earlier. And it's definitely a cursed weapon, but let's pick it up nonetheless. So, because we're not facing enough jammed enemies already, down to very low health at the moment, so finding something to replenish it would be good. Yeah, the fight saber is not an especially powerful weapon. It's not bad, but its real strength is being able to return bullets. So while I usually like to enter a room with a fully loaded magazine, it's actually better to have the ability to reload going into a room with this weapon, so you don't have to fire anything off beforehand. Because there we are, against those spiders in particular, they fire off loads of bullets, and I like to be able to deal with them. Right, it's the green one of those that we need to find. Actually, maybe that was it. If he was jammed, it's changed his colour. What was I just saying? Get a couple out of the magazine there. Another jammed enemy. Ugh, didn't manage the reload in time there. So yeah, didn't quite live up to my own stated potential of reaching the 4th floor boss, but we must have been getting relatively close. Anyway, that's the bullet. Thanks for watching. I think we'll be using the robot next time round if you want to stay tuned for that. Okay, take care. Bye bye.